What's up, you glorious bastards? King Cobra JFS. Back at it with another video. So I managed to save half the bottle from last night instead of drinking a whole bottle in one sitting. Yeah. Let's grab ourselves a drink combo. Because this video is going to be for the dudes. Disclaimer, I do not hate anyone based off their gender. I hate the way the genders treat each other. Like, women who bitch that men are fucking pigs and assholes when you act just as shallow as they do. And you can't call out the hypocrisy because then you get labeled a sexist or an incel. And it's like, by that logic, you would think, oh, well then what does that make you for hating me? A cunt and a femcel? Yeah, no. And, there's anything, I love pissing off femcels more than I love pissing off my trolls. Because it's too fucking easy. On a side note, I found out that Senator Joe Biden has prostate cancer, and, well, I hope he beats it because he's got family that cares about him and friends that care about him, you know. But, like, the Democrats, the radical left want you to feel sorry for Joe Biden. And at the same time, when Trump got shot in the ear, they were celebrating it. So it's like, who really is the bigger hypocrite asshole here? I don't know. I don't care if you're a Democrat or Republican. I'm an independent. I choose to think for myself. But this one's going to tell the fellas a couple of key things that you need to know. And the first thing I'm going to do is tell you that men are the prize because we are the providers. If women think that they're the prize, oh, no. Anything that they can offer you, any woman can offer a man. You're the prize because you got a vagina and tits. I'm like, wow. Women are more than just that, so what makes you special? Because the first thing you're going to hear women complain about is that women are overly sexualized in our society, which I think is total horseshit, but at the same time, women don't have a problem weaponizing it to their advantage. Women will weaponize sex when it's convenient for them, and then complain when they're overly sexualized, or when men act entitled to pussy. And half of that is men's fault, yes, but the other half is your fault. Alright, so first of all, when you understand how women think, and you quit giving a shit if you get sex or get laid, you become a dangerous man on the dating scene. And when you have confidence in yourself, jackpot. The first thing you're going to have to understand is, how do women argue? They have four nuclear options that women will use when they know they are wrong or losing the argument, and they know it works. Excuse me. Option number one. If they are losing the argument, they will use their emotions. You'll hear things like, stop yelling at me. You're being unfair. Why are you being so mean? And when that doesn't work, they go to rogue level 2. They start using the whole, well, if you don't listen to me, I'm going to cut off the sex. And if she starts doing that, just look at her and laugh. And laugh and go, well, I can masturbate, so. The woman tries cutting sex off for me, it's not going to bother me in the slightest because I went 6 years without it. And everyone gave me shit about it. Why is it that if a woman is involuntarily celibate or chooses to be celibate, no one calls her a man-hating femcel or a lesbian, but the second a man goes without sex, he's a fag, he's a loser, he's an incel. But dude tries to get laid, he's a creep, he's a loser, he's a simp. Fuck out of here. And if level 2 doesn't work, she goes to level 3, which means what? Bringing up shit that she was pissed off about that she didn't tell you about. You're like, babe, what's the matter? And she said, I'm fine. And I go, obviously you're not fine. You look very pissed off. What's the matter? Talk to me. No, I don't want to talk about it. And it's like, oh, okay then. Or she'll give you the silent treatment and then complain that we have communication issues. Right. Well, the issue here is you, because no communication gets done when you're giving your man the silent treatment, and then bitching because we have communication problems. Wham. And if that doesn't work, the last Hail Mary attempt to get you so fucking mad, you smack her or call her a cunt and you lose your shit. Don't do it. Okay, whatever, for the love of Satan, do not fucking lose your shit, because women want that. They want you to lose your shit so they can play the victim and make you have to be the typical male kind of thing. What's level 4? Insulting your masculinity, saying shit that you're insecure about. Well, you have a small penis. I didn't hear you complaining last night when we were doing it, you slut. And you have 2 options to win the argument against women. One, you can throw it back in their face and make them so fucking mad they hit you. And then you look at them and go, well, we will discuss this when you're a lot calmer. When you're ready to give me an apology blowjob, we can talk about this. Sure, she might not hook up with you for a couple of days, but fuck it. That's why masturbation is king, to quote Andrew Dice fucking Clay. Or what you can do is use a sense of humor and your smart mouth and your logic and your simple male brain, the basic facts, to win the argument. Because women only pull this crap when they know they're wrong and they're losing the argument. It's dirty, it's manipulative, and it works. You'll be sitting there for like the 9 millionth time washing dishes, sleeping on the couch, going, what the fuck happened? I had this argument in the pocket. I was going to win. What happened? Women are emotional creatures of habit. Their brains are constantly ADHD to the max. Men were simple creatures of habit. And for some ungodly fucking reason, there are some women who just can't stand to see their man happy. If he's sitting there playing video games, or working on the car in the garage, minding his own fucking business, let him be happy. Jesus fucking Christ! If my wife or girlfriend had a book meeting club and it made her happy to hang out with her friends, sip wine, I'd show up to the party real quick with some wine and a silver platter full of like pinwheel sandwiches and a charcuterie board, and then I'd fuck off and leave. And I'm like, well, you have your thing, I have my thing. So ladies, if you want to have a sense of stability in your life, get some hobbies and get some female friends that aren't complete cunts behind your back. I couldn't say that with a straight face. Yeah. If women were capable of being friends, I'd believe it. Kind of like with Jessica Boyle's texting me and going, please, I want to have a conversation without you hating me. Oh, yeah. And it's like, well, Jessica Boyle was capable of having an adult conversation. I believe it. No. And speaking of my psycho stalker ex, segue. Fellas, I don't care how hot she is. I don't care how good the sex is. No amount of good sex is worth your dignity. And if women don't appreciate what you have, They just friend zone you and go, well, I don't see you like that. That is such a double standard. Why, you ask? Because if women, on the other hand, if it's gender reversed, well, he's a piece of shit because he won't give her a chance. Well, it's like, no, just like men, you hate being told no. That one stung, didn't it, ladies? Oh, god damn it, that's mean. Where? The only difference is rape does not exist for men. Because apparently, according to our sexist society that hates men, all men want is sex. All men are rapists. All men are killers. Blah, 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 wham. Fuck you. Suck my dick. You want to fuck the patriarchy? Pull my dick out and go to town and see what happens. Let me play with your big old titties. And let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. You know what's going to happen? I'm going to turn you into a country fried chicken steak because I'm going to cover you in gravy. Yeah. Which brings me to my next point. Let me grab my drink after putting out my lolly. If you're dealing with a psycho, crazy stalker ex, block, delete, and ignore her. What's really going to hurt Jessica Boyle is she's going to get no closure over the breakup, and she did it to herself. Instead of recognizing that she's got mental problems and that maybe not every guy she dates is a piece of shit, well, that maybe, just maybe, it's her. Kind of like these women in their 20s, and they think, I could tame him, the so-called bad boy. Ha! Get the fuck out of here. He's not a bad boy, honey. He treats you badly. There's a difference. And when you try to change him and it doesn't work, and he breaks up with you after getting a couple of squirts in past the goalie, if you catch my drift. You're going to be like, all he did was use me for sex. And he's an asshole. All men are the same. Where? Sound familiar? I bet it does. And it's like, ladies, do you want to date a man who's constantly trying to change you? Or do you want a man just to accept you for who you are? Like, oh yeah, I dig your personality. I think you're cute, but your tits could be bigger. Oh, you'd never hear the end of it. Women are so fucking insecure about their boob size. And to a degree, I get that because men are insecure about their dick size. Thank you. And there's too much pressure to date and have sex and sleep around. And it goes for both sides. So stop valuing your self-worth because you're dating someone. Because dating is a social perk. You know what I'm saying? But when you treat it like it's breathing or eating food, which is a basic human right, we call that entitlement. And let me ask you this, because you'll encounter those women who get so fucking mad because the guy they want rejects them. Why? Because I'm too fat? Or my ass and tits not big enough? You're a pig. Well, but if a 45-year-old dude walks up to a bunch of hot college chicks and he's 500 pounds overweight and he's got hair on his beer guts and he's sitting there with his beady little eyes, licking his lips like a hungry animal, picking Cheetos crumbs out of his belly button, walking up to these chicks like, oh yeah, if you girls were Twinkies, I'd eat you out. You want to come down to my mom's basement and play Duck Hunt? I got Nintendo 64. We can heat up pizza rolls. Every chick within a 5-mile radius is going, ugh. Well, what's the matter? I thought it was body positivity. He could be a really sweet guy. You should give him a chance. No. If he's giving off major Ted Bundy vibes, chicks are not having it. Even though secretly it's because women are just as shallow as men and they don't want to admit it. Oh. If that guy gets told he's too fat for your taste, you can't call body shaming because they will immediately turn around. If you call it the hypocrisy of it, they will turn around and throw it back in your face. Well, you're just mad that you got told no. If you want to ride that pussy, you better lose some weight, fat ass. Oh, ouchie. And what kills me about that movement is I don't care a fuck if you're fat, dude. I don't judge people based off their gender or their weight. I judge them based off of their character. The body positivity movement only exists for women because women are overly sexualized. And women think they're the only ones who are told you have to look a certain way to be considered hot. Bullshit! Men go through it too, but men, we're told to just suck it up and deal with it. And if you want to lose weight, then lose it. Women, you're told, it's okay, honey. You're healthy at any size. Yeah, because Eugenia Cooney is totally healthy. And I'm not going to judge you for it because, regrettably, food is delicious. Now, the next piece of advice I'm going to give you is stop simping. This goes for both genders. Suckers / sluts idolizing mediocre penis / pussy. I don't care how hot the dude is. I don't care how banging the chick is. I don't care how nice her titties are. I don't care how nice his dick is. No amount of sacrificing your self-respect and your literal sanity and happiness is worth a good piece of ass. Like if you're high maintenance and you're extremely bipolar, and then you try to change every guy you date, and then you get pissed off and wonder why you can't find a good guy in your town. Well, figure it out, genius. If you're smart enough, you'll figure it out that maybe it's not just the guys you're dating, maybe it's you. If you spend your entire 20s and 30s chasing after guys that treat you like shit and then trying to change them because, vagina logic, I can fix him, I can change him. No, you can't. No, you can't. You can try, but he might say, oh yeah, I'll change for you, sure. That's because he's just trying to get down your pants. Which brings me to my next point, ladies. Would you give your dog a dog treat if they pooped on your carpet and then you kept getting mad because they kept doing it? No, because that is literally Albert Einstein's definition of insanity. That being said, stop rewarding asshole men with good pussy and see what happens. Actually make them work for it, because, what I'm saying? If you're rewarding asshole men with good pussy, then you're conditioning them to treat women like crap because they go, well, do women like being treated like crap, Ryan? Well, I wouldn't be so black and white with it, Stewie. And watch what happens. If he's only in it for the pussy and you're making him work for it, and if he wants it bad enough, he'll do what you want. Which brings me to my next point. Do not let women take control of you because they're offering you some pussy. It's not worth it, man. I mean, within reason. Like, if she wants you to wine her, dine her, take her out, and treat her like a goddess, and a queen, and a princess, and treat her with respect, regardless if you get any ass or not. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty standard. I mean, I'm not going to give dick to a chick who treats me like crap. Which brings me to my next point, ladies. You will not sleep with a man if he hates women and blames dating and women for all of his shitty relationships. But when you do it, and he won't date you, it's because all men are the same, right? Fuck you. Because if men do this crap, it's immediately called out. You're an incel. Well, but women do it, and if you call them a man-hating femcel cunt, that's sexist of you. Right, so it's okay for you to do it, but not okay for me to do it. Got it. Loud and clear. But what else do you expect when you're straight, white, cisgendered, and male, such as myself? Although I prefer the term biologically gendered, because the word sissy, spelled C-I-S-S-Y, is a derogatory term that the rainbow community uses to degrade cisgendered people, but don't you dare call them a faggot because that's offensive. Right. I smell hypocrisy. If it's all about, it should be all about equality, not hypocrisy, but I didn't say that out loud. And with women, that's especially true. For women and men both. You sit there and complain because the opposite sex does it, but when you do the exact same thing, you're no better than they are, dude. Dudette. Wah! And a lot of women hate my guts. I quite frankly don't give a shit. Probably because you're not hot enough to ride my dick and you can't find a man to please you and provide for you. Any woman can provide a good man pussy. It doesn't take much effort. But to be a provider beyond sex, that takes work, money, time, resources. And that's a lot harder to give out and get than it is to give out and get sex. You know what I'm saying? And like, just because you give out sex doesn't mean you're girlfriend or wife material. Because women should be more than that. Thank you very much. See what I did there? Like, right, you weaponize sex when it's convenient and it fits your narrative. But the second men are pigs about it, you're like, oh, where? I'm like, well, to be fair, women shouldn't weaponize sex to get what they want, and men should stop being pigs about it. And I think that's a fair argument for both sides. You know, if a man weaponized his providing to get more sex out of you, and if you didn't give it to him, he stopped providing, you'd be pissed off, and then you'd be like, huh, you only provide for me when I give you sex. That would be the argument, and you never hear the end of it. But like, women are expected to give out sex, and then men are expected to provide. And if they can't provide or give out sex, they get told they're not a real man or you're a little cock tease. And the second they do try to provide, they get called a simp. And the second they do give it out, you get called a slut. And I'm like, well, how the fuck is that fair? You're going to shame me if I can't provide, and then you're going to shame her because she can't give out. And then as soon as she does give it out or I give it out, whatever, it's a problem. It's kind of like, you know, when women complain that chivalry is dead. But the second you try to hold the door for them, it's benign sexism. Get the fuck out of here. And if women are complaining because they can't find a good man in their life, well, you can thank modern day feminism for that. Wah, sue me. Old school feminism was about women having equality to men, and now that women have that to a point, they're bored. So they're like, well, what do we do now? I know, let's take feminism and make it all about hating our fellow women, hating ourselves, hating men, blaming men for everything, while expecting everyone, i.e. men and the patriarchy, to pay for everything, while screaming, fuck the patriarchy because we're oppressed. Wah, wah. Yeah, because how is it sexism towards women to expect men to provide everything for her? All she has to do, keep his belly full, keep his ballsack empty, keep the house clean, and help take care of the demon spawn. He does everything else. And you wonder why men make more money than women? It's not because of sexism, honey. It's because, for one, men do not get to take time off of work because they're pregnant or on their period. Suck it. And two, because men are expected to pay for everything. And the likelihood of divorce court, who do you think is getting screwed for child support payments? Certainly not the woman, no. She'll bitch and complain that the minimum wage gap is sexist, but then the second your ass gets raped in court and you're paying support payments and giving her the house, the car, the keys, everything that you worked your ass off to provide for her, just so she can laugh and screw you for it. And not in a good way either. All of a sudden, it's like, wait a minute. Now that same dude you complained about making more money than you is now paying all of his money to you for the next 18 years of his miserable goddamn life. You don't hear a single peep out of her about how sexist it is, do you? Of course not. Because it conveniently doesn't fit the narrative. You know, like, oh, a man being treated like shit and losing his rights? Well, that just doesn't compute. Why? Because it's not happening to a woman? Kiss my ass. You know, kind of like if George Floyd would have been white and the cop would have been black, nobody would have said shit. This is why I'm like, fuck police brutality. I don't care who it happens to. All it does is make cops look bad and ruin innocent lives. But you want to make it about black versus white and then get pissed off because racism, where? So like, well, to quote Morgan Freeman, if you want to end racism, stop making it about race. Oh, that one stung, didn't it? You want to end sexism? Stop making it about gender. Of course, what is gender anymore? Because in today's modern, woked up, liberal society, you can't even define what gender is, and gender only exists when it's convenient for your narrative. But we're all supposed to respect your gender pronouns. Kiss my ass. You know, respect my gender pronouns, then why should I respect yours? And if gender is only a social concept, then I'm going to call bullshit on your pronouns. If gender, and that's just it. Like with feminism, especially modern day feminism, Schroeder's feminism, you're a victim when it's convenient, and you're empowered when it's convenient. And it's the same thing for gender when it comes to that community. The Troon community, the Troons community. Looney Troons. That's bullshit, folks, but shh. Which brings me to my next argument. If you make everyone else feel unsafe in their safe spaces, they're told to just get over it and respect your privilege and your rights. But when you make them feel uncomfortable in their safe space, you're transphobic. Kiss my ass with the hypocrisy. Trans people want us to respect their safe spaces and their pronouns. Well, if we don't respect ours, why should we respect yours? I mean, respect is a two-way street, and you gotta treat others the way you want to be treated. It's like, oh look, there's a dick and balls in the female locker room. But they have boobs now, so technically they're a female. Bullshit, because women don't have dicks and balls unless they're being fucked in every hole. If it makes these cisgendered women, these sissy women feel uncomfortable, they're told to just deal with it. It's like, well, you don't want to make them change in the men's locker room because they got a pair of dick and balls. They might get harassed and teased for it. Or worse, raped. Well, you call it out when it's like that, but when men take advantage of this crap, and there is a small minority of men who take advantage of the culture we live in, and they pull some nasty shit like that. Case in point, the asshole in Scotland who raped like 4 women showed up to court dressed in drag and demanded to be thrown into a female prison. And regardless if they're trans or not, like they claimed, you're pre-op, basically. So that means you still have your dick and balls, which technically still makes you a man. You know, but no fucking real man would pull shit like that. Thank you very much. Because fuck rape and fuck sickos. One would think, okay, if you were a dude and you got a dick and balls and you rape a bunch of women, you do not belong in a female prison. That's not how the justice system works. It is so unfair for women. And that all it does is make trans people look bad and piss everyone else off at the injustice of it. But did the judge think about it like that? Like, maybe trans people don't need any more negative representations. And there's a good chance that this guy is probably full of shit. Sure enough, he lasted 1 week in a female prison before repeating his offense. Shocker, want to sniff it? And when J.K. Rowling tried speaking out on this issue, because it's a woman's rights issue, everyone immediately called her transphobic. And I'm just like, yeah, but if you identify as a woman, then you're a woman, correct? Therefore, it's a woman's issue, regardless if you're trans or not. Instead of looking at it like that, everyone was so quick to jump the gun and call J.K. Rowling transphobic. And I'm like, look, if you can't define what a fucking woman is, but you want to get pissed off at J.K. Rowling for standing up for women's rights, you're the problem. Because no one's going to take this movement seriously if you don't respect our pronouns or our safe spaces. And you can't even define what gender is, but you expect us to respect your gender pronouns. Oh, but that's right, isn't it, folks? Genitalia doesn't define gender according to the Troons. If that's the case, then why do you get fake tits and mutilate your dick and balls? I'm just asking for a friend. It doesn't personally bother me none. Do what you want. As long as you ain't a goddamn sicko, I don't give a shit. Like, oh, gender doesn't exist, but you have to respect my gender pronouns. And I'm not being a dick. I'm just repeating the talking points that I hear from the radicalized trans movement. The same people who are like, it's all about acceptance and tolerance. And we're sick and tired of people hating them because they're trans, blah, blah, blah. But then insert Blair White and the trans community fucking hates her. Why is that? Because Blair White's not afraid to tell it like it is? And because Blair White's more convincing as a woman than like 98% of the assholes trying to pull it off? Ouch! It's like, speaking of trans people, it's like Cobra. If you could do Caitlyn Jenner or Khloe Kardashian, I'm like, I'd rather fuck Khloe. But she's the ugly Kardashian. I'm like, you people are shallow. Although Kylie and Kendall Jenner are pretty cute too, and I can say that because I'm pretty sure they're both over the age of 18. Yeah, 18 or older, sweet. Old enough to drink, old enough to sink in the pink. Winning. I heard Caitlyn Jenner went on a diet. Really? Yeah, she's trying to avoid trans fats. See what I did there? Why? Because she's trans fat phobic? What a bitch. Caitlyn Jenner bought a classic car. She did. What did she get? She got a 69 Trans Am and covered it in rainbows. And the trans pride flag. It was super loud and super fabulous. What's Caitlyn Jenner's favorite cartoon? Transformers, robots in disguise. Okay, enough of that. That's not funny, Cobra. Like, what's the deal with pansexuals? Are they, like, sexually attracted to pans? You watch Gordon Ramsay and beat off, like, oh yeah, cook that souffle, you British slut. Oh my god, yes. Oh my god, that pan's so dirty, you're gonna wash it because it's a dirty pan. Hey, you dirty pan. Asexuals, am I right? Were they sexually attracted to the alphabet? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O. Oh, you couldn't even get to P before they came. Naughty. And bisexuals, am I right? Like, goddamn. My last girlfriend came out as bisexual, you know? She said bye to me and started having sex with other guys. Ridiculous. Like, what's a gay man's favorite pizza topping? It's sausage. Okay. What's a lesbian's favorite kind of soup? Clam chowder. What do heterosexuals that are crazy wear when it gets cold out? A straitjacket. Okay, that's enough out of you, Cobra. So my solution to this, circling back, is to give trans people their own locker rooms and their own sports leagues. That way everyone has a safe space to change. Let me ask the trans community this. What if, hear me out, what if you as a trans person had your own locker room finally after years of oppression and battling equality, and they said, fuck it, they gave trans people their own locker rooms to change in. And what if some asshole lied about being trans just to be a creep and like harass you and shit? You wouldn't like it. And the second you tried to call it out, everyone called you a self-hating trans and told you to grow up and get over it. You would fucking lose your shit. You'd be like, excuse me? Because that's exactly how it is for everyone else. And I'm not saying that every asshole who identifies as trans is going to be a pervert and a creep about it. Because I acknowledge that that's a small, unfortunate percentage of this movement, and nobody wants to acknowledge it because they're afraid of being labeled transphobic. This is exactly why the radical left doesn't want to have a conversation about gender, because it challenges your normality of thinking, and because you're so afraid of what everyone else thinks, you're afraid to have your own opinion. That's gotta suck. You think that sucks? Try being trans. You have to rely on everyone else's validation to feel good about yourself. Ouch. Dave Chappelle's friend Daphne. Okay, she wanted to be a comedian. Dave Chappelle was her hero. And Dave Chappelle goes to make jokes about trans people, and then they get pissed off. It's like, what? You want to be included, and Dave Chappelle makes fun of everybody, so what's the big fucking deal? Learn to laugh at yourself, you overly sensitive cunts. Pull the rainbow dick out of your ass and fucking laugh. Learn to laugh at yourself. It makes life much more bearable. And Dave Chappelle met Daphne, and he let Daphne have her 5 minutes of fame. He let her do stand-up comedy. You know what I'm saying? And it was her first time doing it, and she bombed, right? And then she got off fucking stage, and she was laughing and drinking, laughing at all of Dave Chappelle's jokes, and everyone was having a good time. Even Dave Chappelle was getting into it. You know what I'm saying? And then someone in the audience shouted, "Hey, Daphne, do the carpets match the drapes?" And everyone went, "Oh!" And you know what she said after a couple of cocktails? "Honey, I have hardwood floors." The whole room shook with laughter. And you know what she said? "I don't need you to understand me. I need you to understand that I'm having a human experience and I'm experiencing life." And I'm like, yeah, 100%. You know what happened? The very same trans community that screams it's all about tolerance, equality, and acceptance bullied Daphne into committing suicide because she found Dave Chappelle to be funny. The very same community that's sitting there saying we're sick and tired of everyone policing our speech and telling us how to think. Oh! And when you say it like that, that points to the very much obvious hypocrisy of this movement. That one stung a little bit, didn't it? Because I'm sick and tired of being talked down to like I'm stupid or being preached at because, woke culture. I'm like, it's not my fault individually. The problem is people. People are fucking assholes to each other, and it only gets called out when straight, white, cisgendered, heterosexual men do it. Everyone else gets a free pass because you're either black, trans, a woman, or whatever. And I'm like, the fuck out of here. So, like, you'll hate on Blair White because she's more convincing than you are as a trans person, and you'll hate on Daphne because she's able to laugh at herself and not take the whole trans thing so seriously. Oh yeah, you're a piece of work. Have fun with what you're doing. You know, like Andrew Dice Clay said, trans people are something else. You meet the girl of your dreams, you wine her a diner, you take her home, you reach up her skirt, and you're holding a fucking tree trunk. And like trans women who get bitchy because people don't want to date them because they're trans, they immediately scream transphobia. I'm like, you want to be treated just like a woman? You're acting just like one. You got told no, and now you're pissy about it. Oh. And the thing of it is that when women and trans people can get mad when they get told no, if you're cisgendered and you're a male, nobody cares. While screaming it's all about equality. Kiss my Asperger's. And the reason why I fight for basic human equality, I don't care if you're trans or a woman or black or whatever, is because nobody cares about my rights as far as they're concerned. The only reason I have any privilege in my life or in society in general is because I have Asperger's. If I didn't have Asperger's, nobody would care. They'd be like, well, look at that, another sissy, straight, white, heterosexual male. Fuck you. Donald Trump signed an executive order saying that there are only two genders, and he's absolutely right. That's why he's on the right. You know what I'm saying? Like, biology doesn't give a fuck about your pronouns. You're trying to confuse everyone because you're confused. If gender doesn't exist, then why do I gotta respect your gender pronouns? Because if gender doesn't exist, then your gender pronouns are bullshit. And then, of course, they're screaming that Trump is taking away your gay rights. And I'm like, okay, just because Trump signed an executive order saying there are only two genders, that's not your gay rights being taken away, because LGB is more than just gay people. Thank you very much. And it's like, try being gay in the Middle East when you're ruled by Sharia law. And then tell me how oppressed you are because the orange man took away your rights. Well, never mind the fact that Trump is the first president in history to host a gay wedding. He allowed a trans woman to compete in Miss Universe. And he sued the fuck out of a nightclub in Florida for not allowing blacks or Jewish people into their club after he bought it. And then people want to scream at him like he's the next Hitler. Get the fuck out of here. I'm so sick and tired. Just because you don't like something doesn't make it the next Hitler. Grow up. Like, if Trump's the next Hitler, how come he doesn't have a concentration camp full of 6 million dead Jews? Go ahead, I'll wait. You don't see Donald Trump goose-stepping into his speeches like Zeke Hale. And my solution to that? The Cobra salute. You take your hand right here, you make a Cobra, and you go whoosh, like that. It's the Cobra salute. You're saluting Cobra cults, and you're mocking these neo-Nazi fucking faggots. Because the superior race is the human race. That's how I see it. It's all about power to the people. We'll drink to that. And when you let society abuse its privileges and you let people divide us based off of gender, race, religion, sexuality, creed, rich, poor, black, white, etc., that's how they distract us, and that's how the man controls us, man. we're so distracted by our cell phones and by social media and like all the hatred. What really fucking pisses me off about politics, you know, is the hatred for Donald Trump divides our country. And I'm sitting here like, well, if you got a lot of haters, you must be doing something right. Which is why when I'm around certain people in my life, I choose not to discuss politics because all it's going to do is piss me off and piss them off. So it's like, when you're around certain people, avoid certain topics. Even though you're right on the issue, 100%, it doesn't mean everybody wants to hear it. Hail to the human race, hail to our inner power. Hail to the cults. Black flame to light my green smoke. Hail King Cobra, hail Satan. The main thing Cobra Cult teaches people is to believe in themselves. There's nothing wrong with creating a cult about believing in yourself. It's a very awesome message, and I think a lot of people can get down behind that. And when you live in a society that's constantly talking down to you like you're stupid, woke culture, and everyone telling you you have to look and act a certain way, what a quote, twisted sister, we're not going to take it. To quote Neil Young, keep on rocking the free world. To quote Skid Row, we are the youth gone wild. Rock and roll and rebellion, it's freedom, it's liberation. And you gotta think, a lot of gay people and trans people are sick and tired of all the woke bullshit too, because they just want to be accepted and loved and find themselves just like everyone else. And that's the realest human experience that anyone has. It's just the truth. We're all seeking validation and trying to find ourselves. I'm missing the high E string. I gotta get some more guitar strings. I get so much crap for being friends with Sasha. And if I wasn't friends with her, I'd be labeled a transphobe. So, like, it's frustrating, YouTube. We're not gonna take it. Nothing like a little bit of guitar to start off the weekend and some whiskey. love playing guitar. It's a wonderful instrument. Electric guitar. You sit here and play that electric twanger. What are you gonna do with your life? I wanna rock. If I didn't support transgendered rights, I wouldn't be friends with Sasha and I wouldn't be subscribed to Blair White. If I was transphobic, I would not be subscribed to Blair White and I wouldn't be friends with Sasha Campbell. So, fuck yourself. I'm gonna get so much hate for this video. One of my YouTube fans sent me a THCA vape. I popped the plastic that came off in here, the rubber piece, the mouthpiece. Give it 5 clicks. Black flame to light my green smoke. That's why my favorite colors are black and green, because my Scottish ancestors, the McNeils, their Scottish clan colors are black, green, and gold. Winning! And I've always liked black and green. That's my favorite color combination. Black flame, which is Lucifer's flame, to light my green smoke, which is weed. Yeah, you gotta say satanic hippie stoner cult. I need to get some more guitar strings. I have plenty of strings in my acoustic guitar case, but I don't know if I have a high E. If you're a guitar player, you know the thinnest string always snaps first. How long is this video? Almost an hour long. Well, I'll try to give you an hour here. The important thing is you cannot let the assholes get to you. And as long as you're a good person and you don't go out of your way to treat everyone else like crap, and you just treat others the way you want to be treated, and you don't go out of your way to be a jerk to people, and you say fuck sickos and just keep being a good person, that's all it takes. And you gotta stick to those guns no matter how much society tries to change you. Because society and people and excuse me. Society and the man will try to change you, but you can't let him change you. Case in point, when I was going through my 6-year dry spell, you bet your sweet ass I was craving some sweet of-age, consenting, non-related, alive, cisgendered puss. You know? And I waited patiently and I finally got it, but when I did get it, Jessica Boyle's the fucking worst. So the way I look at it, I got my dick wet and ended my dry spell, and it taught me a couple of things. To wait patiently and, you know, don't stress being single, and, like, don't stick your dick in crazy. We're not gonna take it. BC Rich guitar players be like, you shred, bro. I love my BC Rich Warlocks. If I can make my dream BC Rich guitar, it would have this part right here. It would be on this side as well, and it would come down. And as it flared out, this part would flare out into a BC Rich Draco V shape. I'd have like 34 frets. It'd be scalloped. And I'd have 4 pickups on it. One would be for like super heavy distortion, light distortion, super heavy clean, light clean, and I'd have a whammy bar on it with a Cobra right there, all hooded up and everything right there, where you can go, wah, you know what I'm saying? And call it the BC Rich Demon. Yeah. How many strings would it have? It'd have 12 strings. Yeah. And when you call out people's bullshit like I did in this video, it's going to piss a lot of people off. And it's like, well, you want people to respect you and stop trying to socially manipulate us and just be a good person. And that's how that goes. Because that's exactly what social media is. Social media is a form of social manipulation, you know? We're consuming content like we consume alcohol and cigarettes and shit. And if you're far left or far right, you're being fed far left or far right content kind of thing. Instead of basing it off of your personal opinion, you want to make it about politics. And that's what separates us as a human race. Should be America united we stand, not united against blah, 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? America united we stand, more like America united we are hated. You know what I'm saying? The rest of the world fucking hates America because they're jealous of our freedom and democracy, and then Americans hate each other because one side supports Trump and the other side doesn't. And I'm just sick of it. I just got done recording a new song for my next album. It's called All Is Fair in Love and War. And there's too much fear and hatred in our society and not enough love. That's kind of the whole message behind that song. Two cameo requests. Sweet, I'll have to get those done after this video. Anyways, YouTube, I do appreciate you all sitting down, listening to me bitch, moan, complaining, watching me drink. I'm gonna finish this drink combo and leave you with it. Gonna wrap things up. Heck, I might just work on another song for my next album. However, before I do any solo work for that next song, I should think about getting more strings so I can get a high E on here and complete the scale with an even 6. But despite only having 5 strings, you know, a guitar with 5 strings is better than a guitar with no strings. I'll drink to that. Guitar philosophy on a weekend. We know that song, don't we, folks? Smoking cannabis in the clock tower. High on the hour. The song about smoking weed in my dream house's clock tower and getting the belfry so fucking hot boxed that when I flip a light switch on the wall, all the bell tower shutters go and the smoke goes. It's like, I don't see Josh, where the fuck's he at? And then you see a bunch of smoke pour out of my belfry, and you're like, I know where he's at. Yeah, he's high up in the clock tower. See what I did there? Yeah. Want to build my clock tower dream house? I'm either going to win the lottery or become super famous on YouTube. And it'll happen one of these days. Just gotta give it time. But real talk though, when you see me go live from my Carillon room, and I'm like, what's this? Pan the phone around. Oh look, this appears to be a Carillon keyboard. Then the camera pans back around to me. I set the phone down on top of the Carillon keyboard, and I'm sitting there feeling myself dinging out the bells like ding 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 ding. They're like, oh fuck, Cobra built his clock tower dream house. Shit. That's what I'm saying. Old school, like Victorian Second Empire. And the cupola tower in the middle is like a giant clock tower, you know. I got it planned out in here. And when I do build it, you will be like, chef's kiss. Like, God damn it, Cobra built his Addams Family style dream house. Wow. That just changes everything. I get my dad paid off for this sweet house and fucking, yeah, dude. Life goals. Because that's what life's all about. It's about being a good person, treating others the way you want to be treated, and don't let life kick you in the ass. Just keep going, and you got to set up life goals and expectations for yourself. If you do not set goals and expectations for yourself, and if you don't believe in yourself, then nobody will believe in you. You know what I'm saying? Insert disclaimer that I had at the beginning of the video. It's like, I don't hate people based off of their gender, race, religion, etc. I hate people because of the way they treat each other. You know, it takes the same amount of time and effort to be a jerk to somebody as it does to be nice to someone. So why is it? Because people are just in it for themselves. You know? When you're in it for yourself, and what can I get out of the situation? And when everyone has that same shitty attitude and mentality, it makes the world a shitty place. But I didn't say that out loud. Right now I'm sipping on this Jack Daniels mixed with, what is this? The Monster Peach Tea Recovery Rehab and the Mountain Dew Baja Blast. It actually tastes like Jack Daniels in a tropical storm in your mouth. So I'm like totally into this drink combo right now. 1 second. Mmm. That's good drink combo. I'm starting to feel a nice little Saturday weekend buzz. And if I run out of Jack before 5 o'clock, well then who cares? Not gonna bother me none. But if you want to help support Cobra and his drink combos, check out my Cameo, CashApp, PayPal. And I recently released, because I have this storefront on customizedgirl.com. They are just awesome. Shout out to Customized Girl. I make t-shirts for boys and girls. On my storefront, King Cobra's Fang looks sharp in the way you dress, you know. It's because fangs are fucking sharp, you know. It's all play of words, so to speak. But I just released a Cobra's Cantina Rocks glass, which, as it turns out, Cobra's Cantina is one of my most popular songs, so I appreciate everyone listening to it and checking it out. You can teach kids to be tolerant of LGBTQ plus without shoving it down their face or making them question their own shit. It's like, dude, you can question all that when you're an adult. Right now, just enjoy being a kid while it lasts. Jesus fucking Christ. Do not get me started. And you can't have this conversation on everyone calling you a transphobe. And it's like, that's the problem with the whole movement. It's not the people, it's the politics. And whenever I try to have this conversation with people, nobody wants to listen because it's like, oh, it's just Cobra bitching and ranting and drinking Jack Daniels. Oh, Cobra's an ass when he drinks Jack. And your points? Well, no shit, Sherlock. I'm also a smart ass when I drink. So what's your point? The problem is sickos and politics. That's what ruins it for pretty much everyone, dude. If you want to check out the Cobra's Cantina Rocks glass, I posted it on my community page for both my Josh Saunders channel and my King Cobra JFS channel. And I'd buy one to do whiskey drink combos out of, because this is one good looking glass. The Cobra's Cantina is a song about a bar I would have if I won the lottery or whatever. You know, I was rich enough to own and buy my own bar and just make it happen. I'd call it the Cobra's Cantina. It'd be like Spencer's and Cobra's and Goth meets like a cantina-esque vibe with like a 50s diner, you know what I'm saying? It'd have that retro sort of kick-ass vibe. I'd have pool tables, video games, and food that I like to cook and I know how to cook. In fact, when I would cook at my Cobra's Cantina, the place would be so fucking clean, Chef Gordon Ramsay would eat food off the floor. Food would be so good, Guy Fieri would cream himself. He'd be like, oh my fucking god, dude. And the prices would be fair. Not overly expensive and not overly cheap, but fair. Drinks and food prices are fair. And it'd be the coolest bar in town, and I could literally hang out at my own bar and the trolls couldn't get me kicked out of it. You know why my YouTube trolls love to harass every bar that I go to? It's because they're either not old enough to drink or they're too broke to go to the bar and just hang out with friends and forget about Cobra for 5 fucking seconds. But they're incapable of it, so what do? Laugh at it and own it. That's what you do. When it comes to life, you just gotta laugh at it and own it, you know? It's the same thing with your YouTube trolls. When it comes to like life and internet trolls and bullies in general, just laugh at it and fucking own it, dude. Don't laugh all day like an idiot, but like learn to be like, oh yeah, you're real fucking funny, aren't you, you little smart ass? And it's like, yeah. People hear my nasty sailor mouth and it's like, you kiss your mom with that mouth? And I'm like, no man, just yours. Watch your language, but the only language I know is English. Like, watch your mouth. You want me to watch my mouth? Okay, let me take a selfie and pull those Kylie Jenner duck lips. Everybody wants to give me shit about having carp lips or duck lips, but these Kylie Jenner style fucking lips are all natural, no fillers. I personally don't have a problem with the Kardashians, so don't get it twisted. Nope. Segue. I'm watching this episode of South Park, and Butters has a picture of Kim Kardashian in his locker room, and for some ungodly reason, it pisses off Wendy Testaberger. You know the episode I'm talking about. And she rips the poster out of his locker and calls him a fucking pig for the way he says it. And I'm like, yeah, but women have the same exact standards for men and they get pissed off when men have the same standards. That's called entitlement and hypocrisy. And you can't get pissed off at the male sex for thinking the same way you think. That's kind of redundant. And that goes for men, too. Men who get pissed off at women for being just as shallow as they are. I'm like, well, here's your sign. It's kind of like watching a homophobic cowboy eat Rocky Mountain oysters. That's hilarious. It's not gay, bro. It takes balls to eat Rocky Mountain oysters. Yeah, I bet it do. I bet it do. A little bit of whiskey, a little bit of guitar. It's going to be a good weekend. Hope you are crushing it this weekend. And just enjoy life. Life is too short to spend it fighting with everyone else about gender, race, and politics, etc. We're all a part of the human experience. whatever God you believe in, it doesn't matter. God is good. And eat food, live life to the fullest. Listen to music, eat good food, make lifelong relationships with good people, and just live life. Live life to the fullest. And don't let the assholes get you down. Do not let the assholes in life get you down. It's not worth it. They only do that crap. Perfect example, my YouTube trolls have got to live the miserablest lives. You know? Either they're like some shit-nosed kid fucking with like the worst home life, or they're a shitty adult who hasn't figured it out, and their life sucks. So they fucking take it out on Cobra because they're jealous. And I'm just sitting here drinking whiskey and playing guitar and minding my own goddamn business. Now, does that make me a bad person? I'm not exactly the biggest fan of humans, but I still want world peace and for people just to be nicer to each other. You know, I would sacrifice my clock tower dream house to make that happen. Because I'm just sick and tired of everyone treating each other like crap and then bitching because where have all the good people in our society gone? You know, you sit there and it's like, oh, there's still good people left in the world. I'm like, yeah, well, the potential for people to be good is still there. It's just people are so consumed by hatred and greed and social media and the man brainwashing us. The same assholes who are like wagging their finger at you because you listen to rock and roll and you don't take shit from nobody and you're a free thinker and you're a free spirit. I need to fucking finish this drink and end this goddamn video. And I might fire up GarageBand and make another song and use the same tuning that I'm using right now. If I do any soloing, it should be for when I got a full set of 6. The last song I finished, I'm like, well, if you do it for one song, it's not gonna hurt. You can solo with 5. But like, you know. Yeah. Yeah. Excuse me. Pardon the bad manners, folks, but when you're mixing Jack Daniels with Monster, Peach Tea Rehab, and Baja Blast Original, it's gonna give you the burps. And the giggles. Hee 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 hee. This drink combo is for 21 and up, but underage drinking is not cool, man. I'll be a hypocrite for saying it because I did drink when I was underage, but I always got caught doing it, and it wasn't worth the punishment that I received. You know, some things in life are just worth waiting for, and alcohol is definitely one of them. The thing that sucks about alcohol is you can drink a bunch of it and feel really good, but then the next day you feel like shit. And I'm like, that's called a hangover. And hangovers suck. So my solution to beating hangovers is drink plenty of water after your night of drinking, eat some greasy ass food, smoke some pot, and then when you wake up in the morning, drink some Sprite soda pop. And, you know, that's just, personally, I don't get hangovers, but if you get them, those are my solutions to dealing with it. So, yeah, even if you live in a state where marijuana is illegal, you can't smoke that for your hangover. You know, smoke it before you pass out, and then when you wake up in the morning, fucking blaze a fat ass blunt. I love you, sweet leaf! Freaking, you know what I'm saying? Then drink some Sprites. Sprite soda pop is amazing for curing hangovers. Believe it or not, I learned that from Nowhere Gluten from Tasted back when he did his show on YouTube. And I'm like, back when I was working at Wendy's, I had a heavy fucking hangover. I was drinking the night before, and like part of working at a fast food restaurant is you get free soda pop. It's kind of a sweet perk. And then so I grabbed me a cup and I slammed a couple of cups of Sprite, and then my shift went just fine. So I'm like, there you go, tried and tested. I'm somebody who loves their alcohol. I can give you definite answers on how to beat hangovers. And the problem with like alcohol dependency is you can get the shakes and you can get hangovers. I don't get that. I'm a freak of nature, YouTube. I don't get the shakes from alcohol withdrawal, and I don't get hangovers when I drink too much. And the important thing with alcohol is just to know your fucking limit and be like, okay, I'm good. You learn to be like, I'm feeling buzzed. You're not exactly stammering or staggering all over the place, but you can feel it in your brain. You're just like, you know how you feel when you get a little schnockered. And the thing that sucks about alcohol and cigarettes is that they do taste good and they are addicting as fuck, and they provide a good buzz, but they do have their consequences. So I would encourage my younger fans to at least avoid tobacco, because tobacco is so goddamn addicting. Holy shit. I wake up in the morning and the first thing I want is a hit of tobacco. I don't care if it's from my pipe. I don't care if I get a cigarette or a cigar, whatever. I just want, you know what I'm saying? And then when you don't get it, your entire day is just grumpy and bleh. I grew up around smokers, and my idols used to smoke. Danny Filth and Ozzy Osbourne, yeah, they used to fucking smoke cigarettes, kind of thing. So pre-deposition, as they would say. No, there's a lot of health risks with cigarettes, and they're absolutely 100% right with those health risks. There might be some like exceptions to the rule, like Richard Overton, who was a black World War II veteran who smoked cigars and drank whiskey, and he lived to be 113, 14 years old. But he never inhaled his cigars, and his secret to life was do what makes you happy. And I fucking dig that. No, that's good fucking whiskey. So with all the drinking and smoking that I'm doing, my life expectancy, I'll be lucky to make it to like 80 years old. And I'm like, yeah, I'm more interested in living my life than living a long life. This thing of it. Is that like fast food and bacon cheeseburgers are bad for you, but you buy into a fucking baconator, oh my god. Beef, cheese, and bacon, and all the good stuff. I love me some good fast food. I know it's bad for you, but like I don't want to make my kitchen messy. And I don't want to, I love to cook, but at the same time, it's like, when I gotta clean it up after you're done, I'm like, that's what I'm saying. Like, sometimes fast food's just more convenience. And it's cheaper. That's the saddest thing about it. Is like fast food is like totally cheaper than like buying groceries from the store. And I'm like, I bought stuff to make my prosciutto sandwiches for the weekend. And like the red lobster the red lobster food hack that I made was roughly the same price, but if not a little bit cheaper. And I'm like, so red lobster is cheaper than buying groceries. I'm like, well, that's about the half of it. And caviar is an acquired taste. If you picture like boba eggs, like when you get boba tea, you know, but they're salty and kind of fishy tasting, you know, and occasionally with like a creamy taste. If I could describe caviar and what it tastes like. And if you're not a fan of fish, you're not going to like it. Caviar is an acquired taste, my friends. Although I love seafood, so caviar, you know, it makes me feel fancy when I eat it, and I like fishy tasting things, so, yeah. I'm not some, like, caviar snob where it's like, oh, you have to spend, like, X amount of money for me to try it. I'm like, no, I like caviar. Let's fucking, I don't care how much money you spend on it. Let's try some. Ooh, delightful. Much like sipping a fine wine or a good whiskey or smoking a cigar or enjoying good pipe tobacco kind of thing. You know, it's the finer things in life, as they say. Woohoo! That drink combo is just about polished off. I'm feeling a little bit obnoxious and I want to create. And I'm laughing at life's stupid shit. That's a good buzz level. Guitar, everybody! For my next magic trick, I'm going to make this drink combo disappear. Harry Potter or Harry Houdini, your choice. Abracadabra.